Next rune I'm looking to make is the wind rune, like so. And then the fire rune, though that one needed me to get my hands on nether wart. Honestly, what's up with me missing funguses from my transmutation tablet? Anyways though, fire rune obtained. Now the reason I was working to make all those runes is pretty simple. I was trying to make the terrestrial amalgamation plate, whatever that's supposed to mean. I don't know how to pronounce that. By making a pattern like this and then putting the plate in the center, I have everything I need to make something called terra steel. How that works is I put a mana pearl, diamond, and steel onto the plate at the same time, and then pour a ton of mana onto it. Unfortunately, it may be a lot more mana than I can generate at the moment. So I tried doubling the amount of flowers I had powering the plate, but that didn't work. Then I decided to try and make a new flower using 2 runes called the winter rune and the rune of gluttony, but this munch dew that I made consumes leaves, and honestly, there really isn't a good way to feed it that without constantly placing leaves. So I made another new rune called the summer rune, and then made another generating flower called the gormalius, whatever that is, that basically just eats food. Problem is that it's just the endoflame we started with, but with food, so that's not gonna be it for this either. So I took a detour to do some of the advancements in Botania, but learned that some were completely unobtainable as I can't eat anymore. Stupid mortal advancements. But that got me thinking about what made me the way that I am, and I realized that the best course of action was to make a flower that could take from my levels to generate mana. So may I introduce you to the Rosa Arcana. And this was definitely doing the trick until I opened my book to do some research and my items disappeared as they are considered to be on the ground even though they're on the plate. So we're back to using the endoflames and just using more, like 32, and hoping that it will be enough. And I'm astonished to say that it was actually doing a decent job at filling the mana pool. Now, the one thing I was curious about at this point was how much mana it took to make a single ingot of terra steel, and was not prepared to be told that it took half of one of these mana pools just to make one. To be clear, that is more mana than I've generated and stored in the last 8 days of Botania. But with this amount of endoflames, I did it, and then I can use these little guys called sparks to transfer the mana from the pool to the plate and finally get my hands on some terra steel.